Hello, I'm Dudley Thompson, and welcome to WDT Media TV. We are here in Stony Hill at the intersection of Old Stony Hill Road and Christopher Road. Your senior is a house of historic significance because guess what? Jamaica's first hero, Marcus Garvey, once occupied this premises. When we spoke to residents in the area, they said they heard that Marcus Garvey once occupied his property here along Old Stony Hill Road and Christopher Road. And they said that when he was sold out for rice, according to the popular saying, he was living at these premises here in Stony Hill. We're joined by Jelani from Stony Hill. Jelani, tell us what you want to hear about this property and Marcus Garvey.
Well, what my band come here is that this was the house that Garvey lived in when he was sell out for rice and peas. And me I hear that for a long time because I was living here for about 20 years now. But the history, I come here, the history of this house, because I was wondering too why this house looks so different from all the other rest of houses in Stony Hill, and there is no change put into this house, but I hear it is a house of the history. Back then, Marcus Garvey was living here, so no changes put there. It should be a remembrance of Marcus Garvey. So if you notice, all the houses here is changing up, but this one remain the same, not changing at all. Yeah, they're trying to keep the history of that.
So, but don't know if you own it or you rented it at one point. You're not sure?
The owner for this building pass off. So them rent it though. I guess the kids for that owner rent this house to Michael Carr, a good friend of mine. He's a coach for Ulma's track team. He was living here, and since of lately him leave out and reside somewhere else. But an ex friend of mine living there, a teacher, but I don't even think she know the history much about it. But it's a nice building though, and I don't think them changing anything about it. They're trying to keep the history.
We're joined by a lady who lives in the premises. Tell us exactly what you heard about Marcus Garvey and this premises.
Okay, so back in 2008, while here when we were having the Beijing Olympics,
Yes.
the person from the community who lived here
Yes.
was passing, and she stopped to speak to then high school coach
Yeah,
Michael.
Yes, yes.
And she was saying that this little premises gets famous again. You know, the name of it is really Casa Cottage. That's the
Casa Cottage.
yes. And she was saying that this place gets famous again in terms of, you know, a history, in terms of what had happened recently with the race, the Olympics with Shelley and Fraser, and so she was speaking to the coach, and he didn't understand that part about, you know, famous. He asked her a question, and she responded that he didn't know that the first national hero
actually lived here at one
he used to be here, and so most of his inspiration he got while here. Some of his books that he wrote.
So when he wrote his books, was
Some
at
of
this
his
premises
books.
he wrote
he
his
would
books.
have been. He would have used to come here most often because there was somebody else living here at the time who was friend with
Michael Clark.
No,
Garvey.
Garvey.
Yes.
There was somebody living there, an old man. I don't know his name. I didn't catch the name. But he was living here at the time. So when Garvey used to leave from St. Anne, he used to come. He used to be in Stony most frequently. But here is where he would get inspiration, write some of his books.
Right here at Stony Hill, at Old Stony Hill Road and Christopher Road.
Yeah, those.
And the place is called Casa Cottage from Garvey days. Is that his name?
He would have had the name. I should get so.
Wow.
Because it's a very old house. I don't know much about it, but that's what I hear. Because then not only that one person, one and two other persons are here have come and asked what's the history about the house. They like how how it's
Design.
The old
designed and
architecture.
Yeah.
yes.
And nothing much is changing about it. I think they want to keep the history of knowing that Marcus was living here and it was looking that way. So maybe they don't want to change nothing about it. They want to keep the history.
And the property is called Casa Cottage. And it's believed that it had this name from Marcus Garvey was living here. Castle Cottage. And it's across from Cavaliers
Yeah, you're
Not- not
the
the-
church. You can feature the church.
and Golden Spring Road. And the property here, and it's beside, it's just close to the Stony Hill Methodist Church. You see, close to the Stony Hill Methodist Church. It's a very old church here in Stony Hill. And this church was built by slaves in 1823.
Yes, that's what we're hearing. I said
Do the
first
math.
one-
The old structure,
Yes.
as you can see, it was founded in 1823.
Yeah.
And they also say that when he's coming from St. Anne, wants to stay in Kingston, this
Yeah, where
is the
my
spot.
friend was here. He had a friend. He had a long time friend here.
A piece of unknown history about Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Nice garden, nice green area. Stony Hill, where Marcus Garvey once lived here briefly at these premises, according to residents in the area.
See, so they're talking how old the church is.
I'm Dudley Thompson in Stony Hill for Roots FM News and also WDT Media TV.